Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing the German driver's license. Let's get into this video. So firstly, before we get into anything, Germans in Germany, in Europe, they drive on the right hand side. So that was the first thing that I had to that was the first thing I had to get comfortable with, just driving on the right hand side. Sometimes I still mix up my wipers and my indicators, but that's okay, nobody's dying. So I decided, or I chose rather, to get my driver's license during the pandemic. And it was very difficult. It was not easy. I will not recommend anybody to have done what I did, but the process is daunting. And unfortunately, if you don't have an EU license, which is from the European Union or from Germany, or some states, I believe in the US, then you need to basically do everything over. And why I say basically is because they don't consider it starting from the beginning, because you don't have to do as many classes. So basically what I did is something called Umschreibung, which is basically transferring your license, which sounds really nice in the description. But then when you look at all that you have to do and all that you have to pay, it's like doing the whole process over again. So I guess this is kind of like a story time mixed with some of the facts. And I think I will also do a part 2 to this video where I kind of give people exactly how to do the process, the list of everything you would need and all these things. So as I said, it was the pandemic and I decided to get my license because I didn't want to take public transportation anywhere and I was sick of being in my house. So it's the first thing you needed to do, the easiest part, do a first aid course. And they teach you basically different things to do in case of an emergency. If somebody needs some medical attention, that you can issue some sort of first aid, and how to apply different things and the method for CPR. I remember they gave us a song to sing while we were doing it. Staying alive, staying alive. And I thought this was so funny because imagine somebody is literally, okay, it's not that funny, but imagine somebody is like on the cusp of death and you are there singing, staying alive, staying alive. But this is literally what they taught us to do. So anyway, I did the first aid course and that was out of the way. You basically get a little certificate of participation. And then you take that along with a bunch of other documents to, in my case, it was the Bürger Bureau, but in some places it's the Führerscheinstelle, which is basically the driver's license office, licensing. And they will get you they will start the process. What is really important and what took my process so long, or my papers to be filed, what took it so long, is because they had no idea where Trinidad and Tobago was. So, and they didn't call me. I had to get one of my friends to call them and loud them up to ask them why they'd taken so long. And at the end of the day, they didn't know where Trinidad and Tobago was, and they wanted me to translate my driver's permit into German. So I had to do that. So I would advise that people, you just do that before. It's not so cheap actually to get it done, but they have different places. It will come up to under €100, but they have some really cheap online places. Like I found like it has to be like either an accredited institute, or like somebody who has like a certificate for providing these kinds of official translated documents. So I found one online, it was like €20 or something. So I took that and they accepted it. And once all of that goes through, then, well, all of this time I was basically studying for the exam. Now the theory exam, y'all. The Trinidad theory exam is not even a drop in the bucket for this German exam. No. First of all, you have an app to download. And I first thought, wow, an app, that's so first world. So I downloaded the app, and in the app you have thousands of questions that you need to go through, as well as the manual. So one thing about the app is that the questions, you can go through the app fully in English and answer all the questions in English. However, depending on the app that your driving school would use, sometimes the navigation tools and the menus might still be in German, but all of the questions would be in English. And likewise, you can also write the exam in English as well as many other languages. Don't feel pressured that if you don't speak German, you wouldn't be able to write the exam. So I did my exam in English and I also studied for it in English. It literally took months. They have questions starting from, let's see, who has right of way at a specific intersection, all the way till how you should treat a specific vehicle in front of you that may have a trailer, or if you have a trailer, how you need to attach the wires, and all of the anything possible with driving. They even have things about like oil changing and when you're supposed to get inspection. So really, they've covered it, everything. It's not easy. It's a lot of things to remember, but I guess what really helps is that you really only have to answer 30 questions when you get into the exam room. So in the app, they have several types of questions, as I described before, and they also have like short videos. So you will watch a short video and then you will determine, okay, they will give you a question based on this video, but it's multiple choice. So yeah, you just have to choose the right answer. That is all. But it's difficult to pass. I was lucky that I passed it on my first try, but it's not so common for people to pass on your first try. They've separated the questions into segments. So there is one segment, if I believe it's environmental safety, environmental control, environmental protection. In that section, there's only one question, and if you get this question wrong, you fail the exam entirely. So some of these sections, they might have 10 questions. Okay, no, have 10. They might have like 6 questions, 5 questions, 3 questions, but those are fine because you could, if it has 5 questions, then you need to get 3 correct to be able to pass the section. But the one that just has 1 question, you'll be screwed. Which brings me to my next point, the price. Listen. The whole process, so the hardest part is definitely the theory exam, and then directly after you could get into the driving classes. If you live in a small city like I do, it wasn't that difficult for me to actually get classes, but I know people who live in large cities, it's really difficult to find an appointment, especially when all of the teenagers around, I think 16, they're also trying to get their driver's license. So I know that's really difficult. But let me tell you something. The cost, I will not recommend anybody to get their driver's license in Germany if they are not financially stable. And I'm saying this because, just to give you an idea of the cost estimate here, you need to do at least 7 driving hours when you're doing the Umschreibung, this transfer of your license. And 7 driving hours, each driving hour is costing anywhere between 80 euros and 100 euros. So if you need 7, let's say you're already on 700 euros. Me personally, I needed more because there is this very specific rule that I always have to remind myself of. Even today, it's called the Recht vor links Situation, right before left situation, which basically says if there is an intersection where it was not previously stated who has the right of way, you have to give right of way to the person on your right. So some of those places you actually have to stop completely and look into the road, because the person who is coming there, they are also just going to look to their right. If there's even a road to their right, they will look to their right and then they will just drive up. It's a very dangerous situation. And that was really hard for me during when I was learning to drive again. And they have many other rules that you need to follow that are very different. So another major situation that they have that's very different from driving in Trinidad is, let's say I want to turn to the right. They drive on the right, so it's my side. Basically, I'm here and the sidewalk is there. You have to turn on your indicator. Then you need to look in your inside mirror, your outside mirror, and over your shoulder. If you forget any one of those mirrors, here, or there, this is like a strike in your exam. And one of the reasons that you're looking over your shoulder is to look in your blind spot. As well as, I've noticed, me personally, as just driving, it's really helpful because they have a lot of cyclists. And cyclists, like if you blink, you can miss them, in your rearview mirror. So I've really made it like sure that I always try to glance over my shoulder, because you never know if a cyclist is coming, and I would not want to hit a cyclist. So yeah, it is expensive, but yeah, is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it, because I do not like taking public transportation. I will definitely do a follow-up video to detail exactly how you need to go about getting the permissions, who you need to go to, which forms you need to fill out, because in Germany they just have so many forms, so many situations. You have to do this in this particular order, and you have to do that for everything. So that was, I could make a video. So just getting your license is a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape. Then if you want to get a car, that's a whole other set of red tape. But somehow getting a car is much easier than getting a license. Getting your car registered for the road and all these things is much easier than getting your driver's license. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video today. If you found my content interesting and you'd like to see more from me, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.